floor is recognized.
Mr. Speaker, the resolution, as announced by our clerk, provides for consideration of H.R. 2701, the Intelligence Authorization Act for fiscal year 2010, under a structured rule. The resolution waives all points of order against consideration of the bill, except those arising under Clause 9 of Rule 21. The resolution provides 1 hour of debate on the bill, makes in order only those amendments printed in the rule, and the resolution waives all points of order against such amendments except those arising under Clause 9 or 10 of Rule 21. The resolution provides one motion to recommit with or without instructions and provides that the chair may entertain a motion to rise only if offered by the chair of the Intelligence Committee or his designee, and provides that the chair may not entertain a motion to strike the enacting words of the bill. The resolution provides for a motion to consider the Senate bill and substitute its text with the text of H.R. 2701 as passed by the House. The resolution waives all points of order against the Senate bill and its consideration. It also makes in order a motion that the House insist on its amendment and request a conference with the Senate against such motion. The resolution waives a requirement of Clause 6A of Rule 13 for a two-thirds vote for the same day consideration of a report from the Rules Committee through the legislative day of Friday, February 26. It also permits the Speaker to consider motions to suspend the rules through the legislative day of Friday, February 6. And the Speaker shall consult with the minority leader on the designation of any matter under this authority. Mr. Speaker, I rise today in strong support of the rule providing for consideration of H.R. 2701, the Intelligence Authorization Act for fiscal year 2010. As Vice Chair of the House Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence, I know that the intelligence community is the first line of defense against terrorists, proliferators of weapons of mass destruction, and other rogue elements who wish to do us and our allies harm here at home and across the globe. This legislation provides policy guidance for 16 agencies of the intelligence community, while also improving oversight and helping to prevent disastrous consequences that faulty intelligence and a misinformed Congress can have on national security. Mr. Speaker, I've had the honor and privilege of meeting many of our intelligence professionals in over 50 countries around the world during my oversight travel as a member of the Intelligence Committee. I cannot overstate how much I and the members of the committee, and I'm sure all members of this body, appreciate them and am humbled by their service. Their dedication and commitment became more evident when 7 Americans made the ultimate sacrifice during a terrorist attack in Khost, Afghanistan this past December. But the attempted terrorist attack on Northwest Flight 253 on Christmas Day was a startling reminder to all Americans that in spite of our best efforts, we are still under attack, and we still have much work to do to get it right. The constant threat from violent extremists reinforces that now more than ever, and we must give the intelligence community the resources and flexibility it needs to thwart the continuing and emerging threats to the United States national security. For the last 4 years, our country has gone without an intelligence authorization bill. I find it very distressing that the House Intelligence Committee, which was created to ensure proper oversight and accountability of our intelligence community, has worked diligently every year to pass a bill but has not seen one signed into law in recent years. As we have seen, the intelligence community is in dire need of independent oversight. Sadly, when we created the Director of National Intelligence, we did not create an independent Inspector General. This bill would remedy that flaw by making clear that the Inspector General does not serve at the whim of the Director of National Intelligence and also has an independent responsibility to keep Congress informed. Some of my colleagues on the other aisle have argued against the creation of a new Inspector General. I would respectfully disagree with their assessment. It is clear that this provision will help to streamline and coordinate oversight. This bill also contains a provision in the Manager's Amendment providing sensible reforms to the Gang of Eight process. As Vice Chairman of the committee, I've seen that process abused in the past, and I'm glad that we are taking a careful step towards reform. I believe there's a statutory and constitutional duty to keep members of the Intelligence Committee, all members of the Intelligence Committee, fully informed on certain intelligence matters. Therefore, by reforming this process, the bill enhances transparency and bolsters Congress's capacity to conduct important oversight. The bill also clarifies the responsibility of the Director of National Intelligence to cooperate with GAO investigations initiated by Congress. GAO can provide the Congress with valuable expertise and assist with oversight functions, especially in areas of auditing and security clearance reforms. I've stated time and time again that the intelligence community is not diverse enough to do its job of stealing and analyzing foreign countries' secrets. Diversity is a mission imperative. When I came on this committee, I came on after the legendary Lou Stokes, who served on this committee and advanced many measures that are in law today dealing with intelligence. My good friend and my good friend from California's good friend, Julian Dixon, who has departed life, carried that banner, as did Sanford Bishop when he was on this committee. I, along with many other members of the committee, particularly Chairman Reyes and Anna Eshoo, and countless others through the years, Jane Harmon included, we have fought for continuing diversity on this committee. We need people who blend in, speak the language, and understand the cultures in the countries that we are targeting. As my colleagues on the committee and I have mentioned on many occasions, when the intelligence leadership comes to testify, we don't see a lot of diversity at the table. We don't see enough women at the table. It is time for the community to get serious about improving diversity for the sake of our national security. A real diversity effort means more than just staging recruitment drives at colleges with a lot of black students or Latino students. Diversity means hiring more Arab Americans. It means hiring more Iranian Americans, more Pakistani Americans, more Chinese Americans, and more Korean Americans. If the intelligence community is to succeed in its global mission, it must have a global face. I've offered an amendment on diversity in the intelligence community to the underlying bill. My amendment contains a requirement for the Director of National Intelligence to report to Congress on a comprehensive plan to improve diversity in the intelligence community. It calls on the Director to report on specific implementation plans for each element agency in the community. It also requires information on plans to improve minority retention, not only at the junior and mid-grade levels, but at the senior and management levels as well. Finally, it requires that the Director of National Intelligence report to the Congressional Intelligence Committees on the efforts being made with diversity training and on how improvements in diversity will be measured. This amendment, along with many other important provisions in this bill, will make our intelligence community more effective, more efficient, and more accountable. Given the immense security challenges facing our nation, it is vital that Congress pass this legislation so that we may continue to fulfill our commitment to the safety and well-being of the great American people. I reserve the balance of my time, Mr.